Hey everyone, it's Angie. Thank you so much for joining me for class today. So today's class is going to be all about essential oils for emotional balance and stress relief. And I don't want that title to sound too like frou-frou-y because they can help you so much. The funny thing is that I've actually been using oils for about 5 years, and I just recently have really been consistent in using the oils for emotional purposes. I more use them to support body systems and for more physical things, and it's just been in the recent months that I have really started using them consistently for things like emotions and feelings and stress and all of those things, and I cannot believe how much of a difference they make. I know that sounds kind of funny because I totally believe in the power of oils. It's just that I'm so used to using them one way that I've never been consistent in using them for emotions. So hopefully people will hop on soon, and you can always catch the replay, or if you have to go early, of course, the replay will be here in the event if you can't watch all of it, but we will go ahead and get started. You guys are going to see me read a little bit. I hope that's okay, but I just want to get you this information, and I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. So we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining me. I'm very excited that you're here. In the next little bit, like I said, I want to educate you on essential oils that have helped people like you and me find relief from stress and emotional issues. You're probably going to want to take notes, so I would maybe grab a pen and some paper, so as you're hearing about some different oils or ways of using them, you can write them down. You don't have to go through this whole video to find your answers again. Okay, so can any of you relate to the following of these? Give me a little hand raise in the comments if so. A situation makes you anxious and you start having digestive issues, okay? You're stressed out at work and you come home with a tension headache. Your child doesn't like school and they come home every day with a stomach ache. That is not uncommon around these parts here. A family situation is making you anxious or angry and you realize you have neck or back pain. Anybody relate to any of these? Give me a little hand in the comments. Most of us can probably relate to one, if not all of these. Our emotions can change the way that we physically feel. I think we all know that. Paradigms such as traditional Chinese medicine have always said that an imbalance of emotions can cause illness and disease. Science is also now finding links between emotions and disease, such as the link between anger and anxiety and heart disease. So our emotions don't just affect how we feel, they can actually affect our physical health as well. So you see, so often we forget that health is not just eating right and exercising. Those things are important, but we can have the perfect diet and exercise routine, but if we're not addressing the mental and emotional aspect of ourselves, we can still be very unhealthy and become very unwell. So I'd like to start out by sharing some facts about stress and emotional upheaval. Mainstream research reports that stress causes 90% of all primary care doctor visits. That's a ton, right? 90% of doctor visits caused by stress. And that 43% of adults suffer significant adverse health problems due to stress. Chronic stress significantly contributes to almost every physical problem that you can imagine and is also a major factor in emotional issues that plague 25% or more of our population. It contributes to dysfunctional behaviors such as overeating, undereating, relationship conflicts, substance abuse, and more, right? This is all stemming from emotions, just unhealthy emotions that we have. A lot of people try to cover up their issues with quick fixes. These are temporary band-aids that work for some, but they can create many more problems as well, as you probably know already. Is there a better solution? If you could find a way to overcome stress and negative emotions and help get to some of their root causes, wouldn't you at least want to know about it? So the products that I'm going to focus on today, as you may have guessed, are pure therapeutic grade essential oils. I'm assuming most of you have heard of essential oils, but if you're not quite sure what they are the lifeblood of aromatic plants. So have you ever broken apart a leaf or a stem of a plant and see that fluid that starts to come out? Well, when you take that precious fluid from the aromatic plant containing the plant's therapeutic properties and you super concentrate it, you end up with an essential oil. So it's really that lifeblood of the plant. It's really neat. But to be clear, I'm not talking about just any essential oils. I'm specifically talking about Young Living. And if you're on my page at all, you you probably use Young Living. But if you are unfamiliar with essential oils and just think, oh gosh, I was at the store the other day and I saw some of those on the shelves, I want to tell you, the only brand I'm talking about right now is Young Living, and this is not a sales thing, it's an effective thing, okay? You see, nobody regulates the essential oil industry. So when Young Living brought therapeutic grade essential oils to the marketplace about 25 years ago, people started taking notice of how powerful they are. However, because of this, a few years ago, essential oils started to become trendy, which is cool, right? Because a lot of people are more open to using oils to support their bodies and their emotions. But what always happens when something becomes trendy, right? There's a bunch of knockoffs and a bunch of cheaper products that are made that have made their way to the marketplace. So that's really what's happened. There's actually no official definition of an essential oil. So what you see labeled in the store as an essential oil can be any of the following. It can be entirely synthetic and made in a lab, meaning it contains no plant material, okay? But on the bottle, it can still be labeled essential oil, right? It can be cut with a less expensive oil because it helps them to stretch the product. It can be extracted with chemical solvents instead of steam distilled. And why would we want to use chemical solvents, right? If we're trying to actually use a plant product, that doesn't make sense. It can be distilled from plants that contain pesticides, which actually then super concentrates those toxins when we use them. We don't want that. It can also be a very weak product because in some cases they use the same plant material over and over and continue to steam distill that same plant material, resulting in a very weak product. Something labeled essential oil can also actually be just a floral water, which is a byproduct of the distillation process. So those are just a few of the things that when you see a bottle of essential oil on the shelf, what it can be. So Young Living has a proprietary process called seed to seal, which ensures that the end product is true, actual essential oil with the therapeutic properties still intact. So those are the oils I'm talking about today. If you go to the store and buy a bottle of who knows what off the shelf and want to use it for emotional purposes, I can almost promise you, I can't promise you, but almost promise you that it does not have the therapeutic properties that you're going to need to actually make you feel better, okay? For Young Living to put their name on a bottle, it means that the quality of the oil has met very rigorous standards. Otherwise, they reject it. They reject the entire batch. So it's these therapeutic properties that allow the oils to work in our bodies. Oils that are not pure, or maybe they're not even oils in the first place, will not have the same effect on your physical or emotional health. So I just wanted to clear that up before we start. Quality is of utmost importance when using essential oils for physical and emotional health. I'm assuming most of you have Young Living oils. If you don't, hang tight. At the end of class, I'll tell you how you can get them, okay? So let's talk about what can essential oils do for you and me. As you're about to see, they can do a lot more than just smell good. So there's 3 ways to harness the power of essential oils. And for emotions, we'll be primarily focused on the first 2 ways of using them, which is aromatically and topically. So first, essential oils can have a positive impact on our mood and overall well-being when used aromatically. There's a great deal of research on the aromatic use of essential oils available, especially for conditions of stress and emotional imbalance. You can go yourself to PubMed.com sometime and type in lavender oil or any number of other essential oils to see for yourself. It's really cool the kind of information you can find there. To use essential oils aromatically, you can smell them straight from the bottle. So here I have a bottle of pure lavender. Okay, you can smell it straight from the bottle, just like this. You can put a drop in your hands and you can rub them together and you can inhale them. And you can take, 2 or 3 deep breaths. It really takes a good 20 to 30 seconds to get the full benefits of the oil. So just breathe it in deeply. That's another way you can use them aromatically. You can use them in a diffuser, which, I meant to grab one, but they're a cute little, you've probably seen them, little machine. You put your oils in and it basically vaporizes them. So diffusing is a fantastic way to obviously get the aromatic benefits, or you can use them in diffuser jewelry. So today I'm wearing my diffuser bracelet. It's just really like a leather strip wound. And so this is one of my favorite ways. Valor is one of my favorite oils. I just put a couple drops onto my bracelet and rub them in. And so kind of throughout the day, you can smell them that way. So that is another great way to use your oils aromatically, okay? The second way, which is really good for emotional use, is when you use them topically, which just means you apply them to the skin. You can apply them neat, which is straight to the skin. Some oils need to be diluted. You could use a carrier oil like olive oil or almond oil or any fatty seed oil. You can use that to dilute your essential oils. And they will always have diluting instructions on the back of your bottle, but you can use them topically, and that's a really good way for emotions. Great places to use them for emotions are on your wrists. You can use them like behind your ears is another good place, the temples, or on the bottoms of your feet. Those are some good uses to use them for emotional purposes. And then third, we don't use this way very often for emotional use, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway, is Young Living has a line of oils labeled for internal use called their Vitality line. You can add them to recipes, you can add them to your water, you can put them in a capsule and take them internally. Like I said, we don't use this method very often for supporting emotions, but the fact that the oils are pure enough to take them internally speaks to the quality of our oils. So just wanted to mention that really quick. So many essential oils are calming and sedating to our system. This allows us to relax instead of letting our anxiety build up in our body. So essential oils can assist us of letting go of old memories, fears, angers, and upsets. They also do this without inflicting unintended negative side effects, and they're non-addicting, which is really awesome, right? In fact, the more you use them, the less you may end up needing them, which is kind of neat. So let's talk about, in order to understand how essential oils can affect our emotions, let's talk about how our sense of smell can affect our feelings, okay? So to understand this, we have to do a little quick anatomy lesson. Our nose and olfactory bulb is actually linked directly to our limbic system, which is in the center of our brain. And the limbic system is the center of our emotions and memory, okay? So unlike our other four senses of sight, touch, taste, and hearing that get processed by our rational brain first. So when we touch something or we see something or we hear something or we taste something, that information gets processed by our rational brain. Our sense of smell is different, all right? It goes straight into our limbic system, which again is, that is where our memories and our emotions reside. And so our smells get first processed by our emotional seat instead of our rational brain. So there's basically a superhighway connecting our sense of smell to our emotions and memories in our brain. Isn't that cool? So innately, I think we all probably know this. Think of something when you smell it, it instantly transports you to your childhood. So maybe when you smell coconut suntan lotion, for instance, you're immediately transported to being on the beach with your family and you instantly feel happy. All right, that's just an example. Maybe it's that you smell these cookies that you used to bake with your grandma, and when you smell them, you get instantly taken back there and you feel all those happy memories. It's because our sense of smell is linked to our memory and emotional brain, which is amazing. It gets processed there first before we can even think about it in our rational brain. So this demonstrates the connection between our sense of smell, our emotions, and our memory. So because of that direct connection, that is why essential oils have the ability, that's one of the reasons that they have the ability to affect our emotions and feelings. So I just think that's really cool. So what does that mean for us? So instead of reacting and becoming overwhelmed by the emotional state of others or situations that cause so much stress that we get physical symptoms, we can act, okay? Instead of getting all stressed out, we can act. We can start diffusing essential oils. We can rub them on our wrists. We can put them in our bathtub and take a bath and inhale the aroma that way. Or we can wear them as cologne or perfume. Or in diffuser jewelry, like I just showed you. So sometimes, like, I'll be working on a project and I'll just start to get really stressed out, and because I've oiled up in the morning, like, I just sit there and regroup. I put everything down and regroup and just start breathing, right? And as we know, even just taking a few deep breaths in and of itself can really help us calm down. But when we pair that with a powerful therapeutic grade essential oil, it can have huge benefits for us. Okay, so how many of us would love to be in complete control of our emotions and the situations we would be placed in? I mean, I, for one, would, right? Young Living has lots of oil blends themselves specifically formulated for emotional support. And so today I'll highlight a few of those blends and oils. First, I'm going to tell you about a few separate oils that you can use for emotional support. And then I'll share with you a protocol of 6 oils that can address many layers of emotions. Okay? And I'm going to tell you a quick little story. Like I said, if you were here at the very beginning, you heard me say that I haven't really used oils consistently for emotional support. I don't know if I haven't needed it or haven't found the need, but lately there's just been some more like stressful things going on, and I've just felt that yes, that sometimes my thoughts can start like spiraling out of control, and I'll just get angry or just nervous or worried, those types of things. And I'm like, I really need to get a harness on this. So I've been using these so much more recently, consistently, and it has been so, like, the change I feel has been so dramatic. So I'm going to talk to you about the feelings kit after I talk to you about these first few singles, but I just wanted to preface it with that. I'm not just presenting this information to you. Like, I've actually used these and they have worked tremendously, which is why I want to share it with you. Because I think if we can have this powerful tool to use for our emotions, why would we not share that with others, right? I think so many people struggle with stress and feeling overwhelmed and those types of things. And something simple like an essential oil can help you so much. So the first one I'm going to talk about is lavender, because it's probably the one you are most familiar with. This is fantastic in my experience and opinion with like situational nervousness. So, and it's gentle enough for kids. So whether it's a child who's nervous to get on the bus to go to school, or if you yourself need help calming some of your fears or your worries during the day, lavender is a really great option. It's very calming to the mind and also to the body. And remember, I'm talking about real lavender oil, okay? Not something lavender scented, something that you found at the store. This is real lavender oil. I'll tell you a quick story. My neighbor was really anxious to get on the bus. Her child was really anxious to get on the bus and asked if I might have anything to help her. And I said, let's just start with lavender. Let's just try that. And so she started with that and started putting it on her wrist. I've actually had this happen with 2 separate people. And within a few days, I was like, how's it going? Do you think that's helping at all? And in both situations, they're like, I don't know if it was the lavender or if it was just coincidental, but they're so much better. So maybe it is coincidental. I don't think it is, but I just think in the cases where I've told people about lavender and they've used it, it has made a big difference. And I think lavender would not have its reputation of being so calming and sedating if it didn't actually do that, right? So lavender is a really good oil to try, and it's something that, especially if you're an oiler, you probably already have. So make a roll-on with it, put it on your wrist, put it on the bottoms of your feet or your child's feet, and see how you feel. Okay, the next oil I'll talk about is Stress Away. So Stress Away is really good oil for those times of stress, of course. It contains lavender and also vanilla and lime and a few other calming oils. This one's good. You can just pop a roller right on top and you can use it during the day. It's a great one also to use before bed to help kind of wind down from the day's stresses. But I send this one with my daughter to school. And I said, if you get nervous for a test or you feel like things are, making you nervous, just roll some on your wrist. And she likes it. It's kind of like her little perfume. And I think that act of stopping and saying, okay, I know everything's okay, and rolling it on your wrist. That's something else too that I should mention is, pairing the oils with positive thoughts and retraining your brain. I think the oils, but also, it's just that act of stopping and doing something for yourself and then inhaling the aroma is so, so powerful. All right, the next oil, and one of my very favorite oils, is Valor. This is so funny because it's a very old bottle, but I love, love, love Valor. And I had found this, which is why it's an old bottle and why it's not used up yet. But Valor is great for confidence and self-esteem. Feelings of uncertainty can make us timid, even as an adult, but especially as a child. And Valor is the perfect oil to help us overcome that. This is a great oil to use on kids who feel uncertain about the beginning of a new school year or a new setting. A friend of mine had a child who, when they went to church, he would never go up in the child's room because he was always just anxious to stay, didn't want to stay, always wanted to sit with his mom and dad. And one day she was like, I'm going to try something different, and put a drop of Valor on his feet. And she said, went up there without hesitation, had a great time. She was like, the only thing I changed was the Valor. This was a huge issue that we had. So I know it seems so crazy, you guys, that these oils can be this powerful, but try it. What have you got to lose, especially if you already have these in your collection, right? So Valor is something like if I have to give a presentation or do something that I'm nervous about, I put on Valor. It gives you just feel that sense of self-confidence. And again, taking a moment to yourself, putting it on, smelling it, and just saying I know this is going to be okay. It just helps in amazing ways. So that is my third oil I want to tell you about is Valor. The next oil, which has been really helpful for us, especially last year, is the oil of Joy. My daughter had a ton of stress about going to school last year. And so Valor and Joy were 2 of the oils I used on her a lot. I would put Valor on her wrists, and I would put Joy. She would either wear it on her wrist, or she has a little diffuser necklace I would put it in, or I would put it on her feet. It's pretty floral, so especially if you have a boy, that might not want to smell like flowers, but you can put it on their feet underneath their socks. But Joy is filled with citrus and very bright smelling oils. It's a wonderful oil to help lift our mood, okay? So like she would wake up really cranky and just, you know what I mean? I don't know if you have kids that get like that sometimes. And Joy was a really good oil for her. If you're ever feeling down or feel like you can use a boost in your mood, pull out your Joy. It's a fantastic choice. In addition to the other methods of use mentioned, so in other words, on your wrist, temples, behind your ears or bottoms of your feet, you could also put Joy. A lot of people will use this oil right over their heart. Something I do want to point out about Joy is that it's photosensitive. So if you're going to be outside in the sun or your skin's going to be exposed to the sun, don't use it on exposed skin. So maybe on those days, use it on your feet or somewhere that's not going to be touching the sun. Or if you have, a high shirt and you put it on your heart, that would be fine too. But Joy is an amazing oil and very mood lifting, all right? The last single bottle of oil I'm gonna talk about is Peace and Calming. You guys, this oil is awesome. This oil is for exactly that. It's a great oil blend to help your mind and body relax. So if your mind often races, this may be the oil for you. Maybe your thoughts start to spiral out of control a little bit, or maybe you start, I don't know about you, but when I send my kids to school, I'm like, oh my gosh, did I do this? Did I do that? And I'm worrying about these different things. For me, this can kind of stop my thoughts from like, okay, calm down, and this is a great oil. You can also use it before bed in your diffuser, and it's really good. For me, it stops my mind from going crazy at night when I'm trying to go to sleep and my mind is thinking of all the things that need to be done and all the things that I need to quote unquote worry about for the next day. I love Peace and Calming to just calm down. This oil may also help calm overactive and hard to manage children, okay? So again, you can just rub it on their feet, put it in the diffuser. I've heard lots of stories, or sometimes kids are like mental tantrum, right? You're in the store and your kid's having a tantrum. I've heard of people pulling out their Peace and Calming and giving their kids a whiff or putting it on their wrist, and it's like, diffuse the situation. So this is my just another favorite oil for emotional issues, okay? So those are some of my single bottles of oil that are my favorites for emotional support. Next, I'm going to talk to you about the Feelings Kit, because this is the kit that I've been using consistently now over the past couple of months. And you guys, I have to tell you, it is like an attitude shifter for me and just a mood changer. And I love it, to the point where I was like, I have to figure out how we can tell more people about this. So the Feelings Kit is a set of 6 amazing essential oil blends that can help you with emotional well-being and balance. Each of the oils in the kit is amazing on its own, and if you use it separately, but I'm gonna share with you today about the Feelings Protocol. So this kit was put together and meant to be used as a protocol altogether. So that outlines how and where to use these 6 oils every day to support a calmer and happier attitude. So quick little story, when I gave myself a 30-day challenge when I first got this kit. Like, I didn't want to buy it and just have it sit on my shelf. So I'm like, I'm gonna mark on my calendar, like 30 days I'm using this kit. So I use it day 1, day 2, whatever. I get to about day 21 and we were like ready to go out of town. And so that morning was crazy and I forgot to use them. I didn't use them. And I was like, all day, I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, I just felt like, what is wrong with me? And it took me till about the middle of the day to realize, like, I'm like, I have been feeling so amazing lately. And I think that drastic difference from like feeling amazing to going to ho-hum, I realized I had not used my kit that morning. So I ran upstairs, put them on, and it's weird because it's not like it's not like, okay, I put all of these on and it was an instant mood shift, but within about 20 to 30 minutes, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what it was. Like, you just feel different. I don't know how else to explain it. Your attitude feels different, your mood feels different. So that's what I want to share. Pairing these oils with affirmation or scripture, I think makes the protocol even that much more powerful. If you were to sit down every day for 5 minutes, oils aside, not even doing oils, and just sit down and do affirmations, or obviously read your Bible, read through scripture, that is an amazing life change. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the book called The Miracle Morning, but I read that book last January, not this past January, the one before, and did it consistently. And you guys, it changed my days. Like, it was amazing. So there is absolutely something to the power of sitting down, being silent, having your affirmations, doing visualizations, reading your Bible, you know, all of those things make a dramatic difference of your day. But pairing the oils with that, for me, takes it to a complete other level. So that's why I'm excited to share with you how I use this. So Gary Young, who is the founder of Young Living, he says, use the Feelings Kit, apply Feelings oils before work and every night before bed. Do this for 30 days and you will change your life. When I heard that, I was like, that's a pretty good challenge. I'm going to try it. And honestly, I didn't even do it morning and night. I just did it in the morning, and that's typically how I still do it. And I have noticed an amazing shift. It can dramatically shift your mood and attitude. So I'm going to go through the protocol here in a couple of minutes, but I want to give you a little bit of background on some of the language I'm going to be using because I don't want it to like freak you out or scare you away. So first, the protocol mentions rubbing the oil clockwise. And if you've never used oils before, you're probably like, why does that matter? The reason we do this is that the DNA of all living things is wound in a clockwise direction. So the oils are gonna work regardless of how we use them or apply them, okay? I do wanna stress that. But when we rub them in a clockwise direction first, the tiny molecules in every drop will enter our bodies spinning in the same direction as our DNA, which is really cool and can more effectively deliver the amazing benefits. So when you read essential oil reference guides and books and things like that, that's why they'll say rub it in a clockwise direction. That's the reason. So as you hear that in the protocol, you'll know why it says that. Okay, next, the protocol mentions energy a few times. This is not a woo-woo thing, and I thought it was forever, which is why I want to like clarify that first. Everything in this world is made of energy, you guys. Think of the separate parts of an atom. You know, you have like the neutron and the proton and the electrons, right? You have all these parts, and they're literally held together with energy. So that means that our bodies are held together that way, and pretty much everything in the world is held together with energy. We have energy pathways that run through our bodies. This is really interesting. When we have negative thoughts, it's been measured that our body's actual frequency can decrease by 12 hertz. But when we think positive thoughts, our body's frequency can increase by 10 hertz. Essential oils have the highest frequencies of any measured natural substance, which is really cool. They've been measured as high as, I think, like 500 megahertz, which is really neat. So they can actually raise our body's frequency. I just mentioned this concept of energy so that you know that it's not like some hippie lingo that the protocol is talking about or that I'm sharing with you. It's actually one of the reasons that essential oils can work so well. All right, so now that we've got that straight and cleared up, let's talk about this Feelings Kit oils and protocol. So as a side note, I want to let you know that Young Living gives us a huge price break when we purchase these 6 oils together as a kit as individually. So like I said, you can use these individually, but in the kit, it saves you like $140, which is amazing. Just one other little small benefit I want to share with the kit, because you're going to hear about some of these oils, you're going to be like, ooh, I want that one oil, which is totally fine, but it will save you a ton of money in the kit. So I'm just putting that out there. If you're a Young Living member, that's the best way to get them. Okay, so let's get started. So I mentioned Valor before as one of my favorite oils, but it is also part of the Feelings Kit. In addition to helping with self-confidence, like I mentioned, Valor can also balance and equalize the body's energy. So it's the first oil that we use in the protocol. To start the Feelings protocol, you put Valor on the soles of your feet. This blend is also effective to erase limited thinking, all right? So take your Valor. This is what I do. Take my Valor, put a drop of it in my hand. I rub it together, and I rub it on my feet. Like, do the first one, and I do the second one, and then I rub my hands together and just inhale it for about 20 seconds, all right? And again, if you have affirmations, scripture, anything, I just breathe that in for a few minutes, not few minutes, probably 20 seconds, and repeat those as well. You can also combine this step with Highest Potential. So Highest Potential is not in the kit, but I'm going to mention it because it's in the protocol, because if you combine the Valor and the Highest Potential on your feet, it can have an even greater effect. So it says, this is from the protocol, you will wake up in the morning more self-assured and more alive to start the day. Okay, I want to show you guys this really cute thing. I have this holder made. Isn't this cute? So there's, like I said, there's only 6 oils in the protocol, but I had her made a little 7th slot for me for my Highest Potential oil. So anyways, just want to show you that. Side note. Okay, so we've done our Valor. The next oil that you're going to use is Harmony. It says, next, massage 1 drop of Harmony on each of the energy center points of your body. There are 7 of them along your body: your tailbone, navel, solar plexus, heart, throat, middle of the forehead, and top of the head. You can also apply a drop along the spine exactly opposite of the energy centers I just described. Harmony oil helps our body's nervous system maintain balance. This in turn gives us progressive creativity and feelings of confidence. As a side note, another use of Harmony on its own is to diffuse it if your kids are bickering or if there's a family situation. You can diffuse this oil for Harmony in your home, okay? So second oil, I've done my Valor and my highest potential on my feet. Harmony, you do a drop in your hand, and I take it basically because these energy centers are along the center of your body. I take it and I rub one kind of on my very lower back, like tailbone, and then I take it and I rub it all up. I just like rub it up the center of my body. And I'll do this after I get out of the shower. You could probably do it, you could do it over your shirt too, but I rub it directly on my skin and just kind of go like this and go up to the top of my head, rub it together, breathe it in, and just, have thoughts of just like being in harmony with yourself and with God and whatever it is that you believe and want to say. You can say that while you're using your Harmony, okay? So the next oil in the protocol is forgiveness. This is the third oil. So again, take a drop of forgiveness, and you put this one around your navel with the right hand going clockwise several times, and think of situations where you need to forgive yourself or others. We beat up on ourselves, but everybody makes mistakes, yet we struggle to forgive our own mistakes and those of others. Unforgiveness is one of the most common roots of physical, mental, and spiritual disease. Unforgiveness does not make the offending party sick, it makes us sick. So forgiveness is for our own benefit. You guys, this is such a powerful, again, just to stop and think, who do I need to forgive? Who needs to forgive me? Do I need to forgive myself? Those types of things. It is very powerful when you do that day over day over day, okay? And then again, after you do that and you think, who do I need to forgive? And all of those things, again, just kind of breathe that in. The oil of forgiveness, okay? Your next oil is release, and it is believed that, this one I think is so interesting. It's believed that negative energy goes into the blood and then into the liver for cleansing, where the toxins can remain trapped. So the liver is a point where anger often gets stored in your liver. The liver energetically becomes a storage place for anger, resentment, bitterness, hatred, jealousy, envy, addictions, and a host of destructive feelings. So this is kind of like Emotions 102 type information of how our emotions actually have a frequency to them and can settle in different organs of our bodies and can make us sick. That's like a topic for another class, but in this class and in this protocol, release is the next oil. So you take a drop of release, activate it in your hand, right? Rubbing it clockwise, and put it over your liver, which is on your right side. And then you just like breathe it in. And when I do release, I always feel like I'm like releasing like toxic thoughts that I'm telling myself. I'm releasing the toxic things I say to myself. I'm releasing toxic emotions. I'm releasing toxic ways of thinking and thoughts that don't serve me anymore, okay? And that's how I do that one. Again, just breathe it in for about 20 seconds. So you apply some release over your liver, and then it says to drink lots of pure water, because really it's kind of like, right? Your liver is for detoxing. We want to make sure that we get that out. Don't be surprised if you have an actual release of emotion when you do this. It is not entirely uncommon to use release and to begin crying, which can signal that you are literally releasing some old stuck emotions. This is the same if you are in a massage, or if you do something like craniosacral work or myofascial release, and those emotions get stuck in your tissues. They can literally come out, and you may have an emotional experience where you're crying. So don't be surprised, it can happen. Okay, next in the protocol is the oil called Present Time. And this one says, when we live in the past or dwell in the future, we are not being productive in the present. Energize 3 drops of Present Time oil by making clockwise circles on the oil in the palm of your hand, and then apply it to your thymus, which is about right here. It's like, find this notch in your throat, and it's about 3 fingers width down. So right about here, that's where you apply it. This can help keep you focused on the task today. So again, how powerful is it to say, like, I'm not living in the past, I'm not living in the future, I'm gonna make the most of today. So that's kind of what I say to myself when I use the Present Time oil. Again, put it in my hand, rub it around, put it right on that spot here, rub the rest kind of on my wrists and my hands, and then just breathe it in, okay? Okay, the next and last oil in the Feelings Kit sequence is Inner Child. it can help connect you to your true identity, which can help you find emotional balance. This oil is also good for people who would identify themselves as all work and no play. So that's kind of how you'd use Inner Child on its own. But we were all, this is a quote from Gary Young, Young Living's founder. He says, when you are a child, all things are possible. There are no limitations. When you find your inner child, you found your true self, right? So think about when you were a kid, and just the possibilities felt endless, right? But then as we grow and as we experience life, we have all of these negative thoughts and feelings and experiences that contribute to the way that we see the world. So Inner Child is about kind of getting back to that place of like innocence where all things are possible, and we kind of strip ourselves of those toxic things that have attached to us. So those are the things that I'm thinking of as I'm using Inner Child oil. Now this one is weird because in the actual protocol, it has you put it on your thumb and put it on the roof of your mouth. It seriously looks like you're sucking your thumb. It has to do with like the location of it in relation to your brain, and there's a whole reason for it. If you're not comfortable with that, it's totally fine. You can also use it under your nose and like on your temples and on, behind your ears. You can use it wherever you want. These are just suggested places. That's the protocol, and I just wanted to share it with you. But you can also put it on your navel. There's all kinds of places you can use Inner Child if you're not comfortable sucking your thumb with it, which I get. Okay, and so that's the 6th oil. And then the last step, the way you end the protocol, is to pull out your Valor again and put that on the bottoms of your feet, and that ends the protocol. So in conclusion, Gary, who created this kit and the protocol, said, use the Feelings Kit morning and night for 30 days. You will feel enthusiastic, your life will be full of excitement, and people will be drawn to you like a magnet. Well, I think those are pretty bold claims, right? But I'm telling you guys, that's why I had this little holder made, so these could just sit on my counter in the order that I needed them, because it makes me feel different. It makes me feel different during the day. And so that's why I want to share it with you. I love this kit because it addresses emotions on several different levels. It's not just one emotion. It as you saw, it's really getting your mind in the right spot before your day begins, and it just makes a huge difference. So the 6 oils again are Valor, Harmony, Forgiveness, Release, Present Time, and Inner Child. Like I said, it can put you in an entirely different positive headspace. The oils, whatever ones you decide to use, really can change the direction of your day. I speak from experience, and ultimately your life. When you're consistent with whichever oils you choose, whether it's just a single oil or you're gonna use the kit, you can feel a significant shift in your emotions. Whether you oil up in the morning or you use oils in the moment, let's say you get stressed out or you're way in your head or something. So I use them for both, right? I oil up in the morning, and then if I need them throughout the day, I will grab them and apply them. They can help make a huge difference in your stress levels and provide you with emotional balance. At this point, it's almost like you just have to try and see how you feel. It's one of those things where feeling is believing, So let's talk really quick about what it looks like to order. If you're already a member, you guys know how to order. You can order the Feelings Kit or any of the oils we talked about via a quick order, or you can order via Essential Rewards, which I personally order everything through Essential Rewards because I earn credits back on my orders. So I get free stuff, and my orders show up every month. Who doesn't love free stuff and feeling like every month is Christmas, right? So you'll earn a lot of points back on this Feeling Kit, which is awesome. If you're not an existing member, there are 3 ways to buy our amazing products. So I'll go through those really quickly. It's like a good, better, best scenario. So the first option is as a retail customer. It's a good option because obviously you have access to our great products and they arrive on your doorstep. But you will pay full retail price. It may be the way for you to go if you just want a single bottle of one of the more inexpensive oils like lavender and you never want to order again. Go ahead and join as a retail customer or order as a retail customer. The second way to buy is a lot better way to buy. It's as a wholesale member. It's a better option because you get obviously all the great products, but you get them at 24% off. You get a discount. So think like Costco, except that we don't charge you an annual membership fee, right? You'll also have access if you sign up with myself or someone in our group, somebody that's part of our Oil Moxie community. You'll have access to our Facebook community and private website where you can receive training and support, and you can ask questions. So that's the second way you can join. The third and the best way is to as an Essential Rewards member. It's like Costco meets Amazon meets your favorite cashback credit card. Only we do it way better, okay? So with this, you get all the benefits of the first 2 ways that I told you about. But you'll also get free gifts at 3, 6, 9, and 12 months. Also, you start out earning 10% back on all your monthly orders, and then you go up to 20% after 3 months, and you eventually end up at 25% back, which is awesome. So like when I bought this kit, I bought it and I immediately, so it was a discount to begin with because it was all this kit, and then I got 25% back on it too. Amazing. So if you're not a member and want to become one, all you need to do is purchase a starter kit, and then you will become a member and you'll have access to the discount. We have a lot of starter kits available, but if you're just wanting the emotion oils, the basic, you can get started with the basic starter kit, which is only $45. And it comes with Stress Away, right? Which we talked about earlier. Stress Away is one of my favorite oils to use before bed. So that's awesome because it already comes with that. And then you can add whatever else you would like, whether it's another single oil or a few of them, or you know, the whole feelings kit, whatever you want, at your 24% discount. So as a side note, if you are just a retail customer and want the feelings kit, it is $238. But if you are a wholesale member, it's $181, right? So it saves you a bunch of money, which is awesome. I can help you get started. I'd be happy to do that. I can post a link of how to get started. If someone's invited you to this presentation, they get with them because they can tell you how to get started so you can get hooked up with them and their support system, whatever else they have going on. But I hope you learned today. I hope you've been enlightened a little bit on just using essential oils as another tool in your toolbox to help, help with your stress levels, help with your emotional balance. I promise if you use them consistently, you will feel a difference. So I hope this has been helpful. I appreciate you joining. Thank you so much for coming. If you guys have questions or there's anything I can help you with, please post them in the comments, and I appreciate you being here. Feel free to share this. If you guys want to rewatch it, it will be available for a little while. So I appreciate you guys being here, and I will talk to you later. Bye.